Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, guys. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the program. We got here a pretty funny, viral, I would say, pretty viral video of a group of
perverts.
This one's called Just In. This is from December 7th. Just In. Marjorie Taylor Greene leads group demanding justice for January 6 detainees. This is, I would say, one of the proudest moments of this beautiful, mighty... I'm gonna try not to cry. When our forehead fathers created...
No ability to bail out, no ability to see their family, being mistreated and abused worse than we treat terrorists at Gitmo. Yet they have their hand over their heart every night at 9 o'clock and sing the national anthem. That's something I don't think any of us can fathom.
So we just heard a little clip from far-left prison abolitionist. What's this woman's name? She's tired of all this prison crap. No more. No more of this. So, yeah, sort of a shocker. A person involved in the U.S. government is doing a spectacle of some kind. So this is what she's talking about, is the people who are running around, tearing ass around the Capitol. And her and some other
perverts
put together this little photo op to express their outrage at the conditions that prisoners face in these, this, what would we call this, a country? Some of these people who were running around the Capitol, whenever that happened, I don't know, who cares? Some of them were arrested, and some of them are still in prison. So they held this thing to be like, these people are facing unfair... Have you guys noticed that our prison system is out of control? Now we're upset about this. So just to give you a little bit of context before I play this next clip, the U.S., and we'll talk more about this because this is... The U.S. has the highest incarceration rate of any country. There's something like 2 million people in prison in the U.S. right now. So I'm not sure why they opened this up to questions from the press, but here we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Congressman, do we have an estimate right now of how many detainees are still in the D.C. jails right now?
The latest is in between 40 and 50.
Somewhere between 40 and 50. But I would like to talk about what I saw in video footage when I was in the jail.
Oh boy, you gotta love that. How many people? Between 40 and 50. But I would like to move on really quickly from the fact that the U.S. has the highest incarceration rate in the world, over 7 times out of Canada, France, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, like every other country. And I'm just now getting interested in it because of the fact that it will win me some political points for these 40 people who are in jail.
Somewhere between 40 and 50. But I would like to talk about what I saw in video footage.
I want to brush right past that. I want to do what's called a brush. Are you familiar with this? This is a political term that I've learned. I'm going to do the brush on that one. I'm going to deadlift my way right past that one like I'm in a CrossFit class. I don't know what, did they have to open it to questions? Because one of these press
perverts
is going to ask that. And this whole thing is going to be even more clearly absurd than it already is. We're just now taking an interest in prison situation in this country because 40 of the 2.12 million people.
Imagine a group of men being held in jail with no idea of when they're going to go to court, no ability to bail out, no ability to see their family, being mistreated and abused.
Why would they do a press conference like this?
It means these people are perverts.
Really? Wow. She's like, imagine, these people can't see their families. They're being mistreated. 1 in 9 men will go to jail in the United States. If you're a black male, 1 in 3. 1 in 3. Get a lot. That's... So she's like, could you imagine? Well, I think the 1 in 9 or the 1 in 3, if you're black, yeah, they can imagine.
They can imagine.
Can you imagine? These 40 people can't see their family. What about the 2.12 million who are in jail right now? Well, I'm hungry. I guess I remember that picture that was going all over the news where AOC was crying in front of that detention camp. I guess this is her version of that, but she's like crying outside of the cell of that guy who like stole that podium from.
And to be clear, it's not just the inmates that have suffered. As Marjorie and I toured the DC jail, some of the conditions were so astounding. I asked more than one guard, have you ever worked in a facility that had these kind of problems?
So that guy just speaking there, his name is Louis Gomer. You can look this guy up. This guy is a dip nut. This guy's a crazy person. But this guy was a judge for a long time. Could you imagine? Like this absolute bonehead idiot is like, I'm gonna decide your fate.
I'm gonna decide your fate. I'm gonna decide your fate. I'm gonna decide your fate.
When they're being force-fed gluten food and they have celiac disease, and so the food that they eat makes them sick every single day to the point where they will go without days.
I looked all over, this woman's campaign crap. I could not find prison diet concerns before this. Shocking revelation.
I'm gonna decide your fate.
Where they are abused, where they are ridiculed, where they are mocked because of their political beliefs and because of January 6th and because of the color of their skin. So there is a two-tier justice system, and these are the things that need to end.
There's a two-tiered justice system in this country, and white business owners are on the bottom of it. That is, even that this is supposed to be a moronic spectacle, even within that frame, there's a two-tiered justice system, and these 40 Trump supporters. I get it's sort of weird to be on stage, especially like this is kind of a weird little small stage in front of a bunch of people, very awkward. But what is this guy doing back here?
Illegal acts on January 6th to be treated fairly.
What are you looking at, buddy?
They're
You're
deserving of
literally
equal
just
justice
looking at the
under
back
the
of
law.
a guy's head.
They
That's come
certainly
on.
deserve to be treated fairly.
Look around.
and
Look
equal
down.
to other rioters.
I said look down right now, you little. Look down, you little turd.
Across this country in 2020. My question is this.
What are you looking at?
Mr. Biden, Attorney General Garland, why are you so interested
means these
in
people are
ruining the lives of
perverts.
these folks?
This guy said in an interview in April of 2020. He said that a powder has been developed that, when mixed with water, quote, is being used in Germany as a mist. Healthcare workers go through a misting tent, going into the hospital, and it kills the coronavirus completely. So for this video, for this little of a video, I looked a little bit, because, again, we all kind of know, like, yeah, prison stuff is pretty bad here, but the details are far more bizarre and interesting. And there's definitely a story here with this graph, basically. U.S. state and federal prison population 1925 to 2019. So we go to 1925, you keep going all the way to 1972, maybe 1976, 1974-ish. Kind of not too bad. Then we start getting into the 80s and the 90s. Look at that. Holy moly. Holy moly. Woo! There's definitely a story here. A lot of people interpret this. A lot of people extrapolate different crap from this. Because look at this. A lot of people try to figure out what's going on here. The best explanation that I've heard is that this big steep climb here is because the economic stuff started really not working out for a lot of people. And I think that is the story here. Why are so many people, why are we leading? We're really leading. We're really leading, being real leaders in tossing people face first into prison. It sounds like this.
That is my own sperm.
To me, this is kind of like a political choice that we've made. Honestly, no joke here. Is that it's, hey, we could look at people who are desperate, can't find jobs and all this crap, try to fix that, or I was in prison for a long time, and my cellmate sounded like this. I love this. This is sort of like the Alec Baldwin interview. It's like when things get legal.
Do you feel guilt?
No. I feel that there is. I feel that someone is responsible for what happened, and I can't say who that is, but I know it's not me.
I'm gonna decide your fate.
You know, when things get legal, I'm not gonna mess around. All bets are off when it gets legal.
Present them. You see, that's a political bias in the court. Let me go further. I'm not involved in anyone's cases here, and I'm not defending any of the actions that happened at the Capitol, nor will I, because as I said before, I didn't like it, and I don't agree with it. I objected to Electoral College votes, but I wasn't a part of the riot and was shocked when it happened.
I want to be clear here, okay, that these are political prisoners and blah, 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 and all this, and keep this coming. But I have no liability. I have no legal liability there, okay? They were singing the national anthem, these people, but they're disgusting legally. Okay, when it comes to me getting in trouble, personally, I've never even seen that. I don't even know what that is.
And let me say this too, because we've been accused of saying, oh, you're out to help the white. I didn't know what skin color everybody in the DC jail had until I got there.
I want to let you. I had no idea. Honestly, I thought they was all going to be black guys. Could you imagine if this guy walked into that DC jail and it's like all black Trump supporters who were in there? He's like, oh, well, I got a dentist appointment to go to. I mean, this is so goofy, partly because I was reading the story about how there were tons of complaints about this jail before this, and they were like, oh, we don't, those people don't deserve, they're criminals. And then these people, when they can score a few political points, this is an outrage. These people can't get their gluten-free fig Newtons. What are we going to do? It would be awesome if through this experience, of these guys being in prison, these boneheads who were tricked, into doing this. It'd be interesting if, I don't know, they like encounter some other prisoner or just the experience itself of being thrown in the hole like this. They're like, you know what? This is not right. This is not right. What's going on here? People should not be in prison like this. They talked to some guy in the cell next to them. They found out he went to prison for armed robbery or something because he couldn't find a job or whatever. They're like, something's got to change. We need to implement some kind of social programs, or maybe the economics of this needs to change or something.
I'm gonna decide your fate.
That's the other thing. This gaggle of doofuses, this gaggle of morons who did this press conference are not going to follow through on any of this. This is just strictly spectacle. But I'll read you this from the New York Times. Amid these expressions of outrage, it was never mentioned that the jail had been plagued with problems before the January 6 defendants got there. 6 years ago, for instance, the Washington Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights and Urban Affairs issued a report calling the conditions at the jail appalling. So all these activists and lawyers or stuff have been actually doing real work on this, and then these idiots come out. They're like, this is an outrage, right, morons who we trick? Now that I'm done with the press conference here, I'm going to wander back to my office and play with my tookies the rest of the day. Sounds like this. Thank you. So that Matt Gaetz guy is here too, of course. They're letting him tag along. But he's a little bit hard on the eyes, that guy. So he says all the same crap. Okay? That's him. That's a recording of him.
I'm ready to sell my mother into slavery.
Also during that time, from that graph that we were looked at this explosion of imprisonment of people, they throw them in the hole and it sounds like this. And then they go like this while they're in jail. Private prisons, all of these creeps support private prisons, but especially the guy who these people support, the great Donald Trump, Following the inauguration of President Donald Trump in January 2017, however, the administration immediately shifted course to robustly support private prisons. The fact that private prisons have serious documented flaws raises questions as to why the Trump administration is so eager to support them. It is noteworthy that the pro-Trump PAC and the president's inaugural committee have benefited from the private prison industry's financial contributions. Uh-oh. Private prisons, that should not be. Why does that exist? There's only one way to describe that.
It is disgusting. It is disgusting.
And?
That's really weird.
Okay, there is one more clip from this that I think is really funny. I mean, this whole thing is obviously just like a grade school play level of absurdity. I like that the press, these press perverts, it's sort of funny because they I think that a lot of them know, like, yeah, this is a goofy little performance. Let's have a little fun with these people. That's what I would do. If I had to go and cover this thing for some stupid, decrepit paper, I'd be like, I'm going to have some fun. So some of these people have a little fun with these guys. And check this out.
Yes, Gates or Miss Greene, what about the treatment of the Capitol police officers on that day? I mean, I was down here that day, not too far from here. We saw police officers who had been bear sprayed in their eyes and were blinded by many of these January 6th defendants that you are now, drawing attention to. So I don't remember you holding a press conference about the treatment or the unusually cruel treatment of Capitol police officers.
You may not remember a particular press conference about police officers, but I have made many public statements and cried out against all violence against police officers.
That's great. She's I've cried out many a night. I've cried out into the wind, into the abyss. I've cried out into the middle distance. Okay, so you don't know nothing. That's exactly what I would have done in this press conference. Is like, how can I trick them into just like saying hamina, hamina, hamina? So you have to support the police. You got to support those police. So this guy's like, but these people were hurting the police. So you're supporting hurting the police? You're some reporter, who probably who wants to do good stories or whatever. You're sitting there, you wishing you were doing real investigative journalism or some crap, You're sitting there for 40 minutes listening to these brain-dead zombies drone on about Christ knows what. And then you have all this time, you're like, ooh, I came up with a funny idea. I'll just put a little stick in the wheel for them really quick. That'll be funny. Then I'll go get a cinnamon roll. I would have done it more overtly, though. I'd be like, oh, yeah, Margie, so it says that a lot of these guys were spraying the police with a bear crap and then beating them all around the head. So what you're saying is that you want people to hurt the police and you hate the police and you want to defund them? It says that's what I'm getting. It says I wrote it here. I wrote it right here. So there we go. Congratulations to that guy. He just wanted to
make pee-pee
on the press conference, and that's pretty funny. And he did a good job. And there you go. A moronic waste of time. And these people just hanging out and doing nothing. Except for Matt Gaetz, who's probably doing
perverts
stuff. But there we go, guys. And you know what it is. Today is Friday when I'm uploading this, so
Uber cars. Okay? Uber cars.
Thank you. And bye-bye. Hey guys, you're only getting a fraction of the weekly shows. If you want a new motherfucking episode every day, subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. You get the patron-only Tuesday and Thursday shows, the Bookablega show where we look at important books, and the goddamn weekly behind-the-scenes show. And for only 25 bones, you could become a producer and get your name up here. Look at these people. These people make this show possible. If it wasn't for them, nothing. We don't have a show. We got nothing, and it's garbage. And we have to just leave. We have to just basically walk away And we don't even really know where we're walking. That's the truly troubling part about all this. But please, become a patron today. For as little as 2 bones, or 5 bones is another level, or 10, or you go the full 25 and you get up here. Big special thanks to these people. Love you guys so much.